And so it is with great pleasure that I will welcome here on the stage, even though remotely, our guests from those three cities today. And we'll be happy to hear your experience about, does it work out in the end to have plan, knowledge, and a team? I'm very happy to introduce Daniel Rádai, Deputy Mayor of the Józsefváros district in Budapest, Iva Ivšić, Maria Krnić, city councillors from Zagreb, who will tell us about their story with Možemo and Zagreb NH, and Milota Sidorova, Deputy Chair of the State Authority for Urban Planning and Development in Bratislava, who will tell us a bit about Bratislava's Plan B. Let's start with maybe Daniel, if he can still hear us.
I'm here. Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me? That's the main question.
We hear you and we see you. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for having us here, and it's a great pleasure and privilege to be among so many great people wanting to make a change for Sofia. So very glad to be here with you. I was asked to say a few words about our experience in Budapest the last few years, including from campaign to actually being in office for 3 years now. Is that correct, Euro? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually cannot see myself now, but so I just wonder how I might look at the screen for so many people. I haven't had such a presentation or discussion before, so I hope it works out well on my side. So basically, the story is very shortly as it follows. I myself, I can see myself. Hello, everyone. So basically, Budapest district, Budapest has 23 districts. By 2019, there was a strong interest within communities, within civic NGOs, that there's an absolute need of change within how the city works. And practically, there was sometimes an abundance, sometimes rather shortage of appropriate political candidates, but eventually very strong formations and strong personalities ended up being candidates for the elections. That includes the head mayor, who was already an experienced mayor of one of the districts, and possibly the most popular opposition politicians, and a lot of other districts as well. So the way Budapest works is that it has 23 districts, and those 23 district mayors comprise the council of Budapest, so the main decision-making body. That's why it's important that the districts are very strong, both in terms of their own governance and their outreach, and responsibilities and decision-making powers within their territories. And so that means that the mayors are also very strong in terms of decision-making of Budapest. So every head mayor of Budapest must ensure that he has a coalition of the mayors within his council, within their council, within the council of Budapest. So the great thing was that there was an overall understanding that there must be a complete change the way Budapest and Budapest governance and politics approach this story. So every campaigns had stronger, weaker, more elaborate, strong programs. The head mayor had a very strong program. My mayor had a very strong program. That was a reason for that also, the fact that very strong teams and very strong professional teams were working with them. I was one of them, and I was indirectly involved in the campaign of the head mayor as well, and very directly involved in the campaign of the mayor of District 8 eventually. I cannot share the screen. I will try. I'm not able to share the screen now. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I just have one poster to show. If I get the right, I will share. Otherwise, no problem. The main story is that we thought that since we were ready and we were preparing for a complete change of governance with a very different interest. I don't want to get too deep into these political measures, but our main interest is to make professional changes, make policy changes for the cities that we work in. I'm an urban planner myself. I graduated in the Delft University of Technology. I returned home just to actually do this particular job from my last assignment abroad. And because of that, obviously, we needed a program. That was the main cornerstone. So we had multiple page-long, very detailed programs of what we wanted to do, from how we wanted to change particular public spaces, how we were imagining public transport, the greening of the city, the coalition within civic actors, within residents and communities, health, and so on. And eventually, since we had this agreement, the mayor candidates were very strong to persuade the parties supporting them in a large coalition that these programs are vital, and then these are the measures that we want to go for. So every political discussion started from the fact that there's an overarching program and then it's an overarching set of goals that we would like to go for. And eventually, as turns of events, the campaigns were successful. People were interested in these changes, were interested to have a different life. And there was a buzz around. We, for example, printed one big poster out of our program, set it in public transport stops, and people started stopping by. I myself, I have to admit, though I was designing and creating these posters, I was quite curious on what's going to happen. Obviously, we were optimistic, but tried to be realistic. Usually, in Hungary, there was not much of a background of experience to deal with these kind of detailed policy measures. And eventually, people started stopping by, and they were looking at these posters, and there was a buzz, there was an interest. Wow, these guys want to do something. They want to talk about something. They want to say something. So that was definitely a very positive feeling that went through the whole campaign. And eventually, the reason why it was so crucial, because once we were in office, all of a sudden, no experience in municipal levels, in Budapest governance, and all of a sudden we had to figure out what we wanted to do. And obviously, this is when the program kicks in, and then you know instantly, okay, this is how we will continue, and this is what we do. So pretty directly, we went into implementing the programs, and that includes both Budapest and some of the districts, and particularly our district. And with this program, we have a constant negotiation and power and discussion that this is what we swore in for, this is why we are here for, and this is what we need to do. And it helped us getting through, for example, if you talk about the municipality, Budapest, new bike lanes in the main boulevard that were heavily conflicted politically. But, well, this is what the mayor was elected for. Currently, the main bridge in the center is under renovation, almost done. And right now, it's a car-free bridge because this is what we stand for. Within the district, we managed to transform streets completely upside down, where there were curb parking and short sidewalks. Now there are pedestrian streets, because this is what we stand for, and this is why we came here for. We managed to abolish free resident parking, at least in the district, and hopefully this example will spread through. It's a very, of course, politically very conflicting situation, but this is what we need to do for a livable city, and this is how we can always get back to that program that gives us this overarching possibility to do things that professionally we believe in, that the world needs us to do, that our communities needs us to do, and that helps the coalitions go forward. Thank you so much.
Daniel, thank you. I know that you're pressed with time, so thank you for coming here with us today. One very brief question. So we know in Budapest, as you mentioned, the district mayors have a lot more power maybe than they do in Sofia. Was it instrumental, and do you think it's a good sustainable practice that the Lord Mayor works together with the district mayors as a team, that he propels citizens' mandate rather than his own party mandate? And just very briefly about the power of coalition making.
That's the only way, in my opinion, but I also have a very strong point on the fact that if there is a decision
If you
maker
can speak
that,
up a little bit.
Okay, I hope it works. Perfect. Can you hear? So I have a very strong stand on that. I think that's the only way, but also I'm not particularly a political party representative in my everyday life. And to be frank, I think if your job is to secure a future of your citizens and the people you are responsible for, this is the first and primary reason that you have to take in. So what exactly the problem is, what the solution is, and why and how you can embed that solution. That's almost like a business pitch. I constantly use that in our municipal practice as well, which is probably a bit out of the box. But that's what we have to primarily keep in mind, and we have to go for, and not necessarily the current daily political numbers and statistics. Right. That's my own humble opinion.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for being with us.